I'm on a shoestring budget, brothers and sisters. I don't have anything set aside for a studio, so I'm not going outside today. It's too cold, so I'll give you a little nature. This picture I had around here, I thought it was pretty. It's a painting. Got your little canoe there and the reflection of the water. You got your ducks. Got the little campfire. You got your flat water there. Anyway, that's relaxing. Just got up this morning. My coffee maker is still in bed. I said the other day that it was the best thing that ever happened to me last night. But don't ask her. Well, we've been married coming up on 51 years. But don't don't ask her. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I don't know if she'd agree with you. But anyway, she's not up yet. My better half. And had my coffee, so I'm liable to bungle this video up. But I don't know what I want to talk about yet, except I had the crazy thought of all the gold upon flat Earth. Sometime I get my my title and then put it out there, and maybe the message will come behind it. All the gold on flat Earth. Let's think about it, brother and sister. What would man give in exchange for his soul? I don't take that anymore as a threat like I used to in Scripture. It sounded threatening to me, as if you could there was an exchange policy there. You could lose it somehow if you made the wrong deal. I don't believe that anymore. But I believe it's good to put a comparison there. What would you do? Is there anything you would do? Would you swap places with anybody on the face of this earth, this flat earth? I wouldn't. I'm 73, going on 74. Got one foot in the grave and falling apart on every hand. This old vessel of clay, and I wouldn't swap. Why wouldn't I swap? Well, because I couldn't to start with, but because that's the way God made me. But I wouldn't if I could, because I'm going to tell you why, brother and sister, because what he has shown me, I value. It's a wonderful thing to have this revelation about God's creation. Not many folk have had that privilege. And I just want to put it out there to some of my like-minded brethren out there that it's a wonderful thing. I said that last night. And I wouldn't swap places with anybody. And I wouldn't trade what God has revealed to my soul. He reneweth my soul. He doesn't renew your spirit. We're born of his spirit, in my view. He doesn't renew that. That's born of God. The spirit of man and the soul of man. I'd like to try to separate them here for a minute here. Some of my brothers might not have made a decision on that. This is my view on the soul and spirit. The spirit of man. Anybody ever walk in a room and he had a gentle spirit about him? It's just his overall demeanor. That's the part I believe is born of God. If somebody is gentle and kind, and gentle like a dove, then I believe that individual is born of God. Kind to you, you just like them. That's the part that's born of God. But the soul, the soul. I used to wonder, now what is that? What's the soul? Spirit and soul. Body, soul, and spirit. Well, the soul, in my view, is the part that gets renewed. It's your intellect, what God has shown you and seen fit to reveal to you. It's since you were born. Sometimes I like to listen to what people have in their head. But if they have a mean spirit about them, I cut it off and I won't listen to them. You know what I mean? Even the stuff they got in their head. But anyway, the soul of man is, I believe, what he's shown you. And like I say, I wouldn't take anything but the wonderful, wonderful revelation of God's creation. Just what he's shown me. I don't know everything. I don't know much. But I appreciate what God has seen fit to reveal to me. Especially about his son Jesus and all the particulars about his salvation. And not just the new birth and salvation, in my view, are how they should be understood. But anyway, that's a whole other video. I don't want to get into that. But over there in Romans 7, Paul tells you all about it. The body, the flesh, wars against the spirit. That's why most people don't understand why they keep sinning after they're born again. It makes them feel bad when they sin, because they have a conscience and they know that they've sinned when they sin. But what the church world doesn't tell you, or the supposed the world that we live in won't tell you, is that we're going to keep sinning to some measure until we leave this vessel of clay. And they won't tell you that, brother and sister, because they want to they want to get the message out there that if you sin today, you're not even born from above. Say, you're not born from above because he said, didn't you see that sin that you sinned? So that's what the old devil will tell you. He won't show you over in Romans 7 where that it's going to keep going on until Paul said, "Oh, wretched man that I am." He was a wretched man right then. He said, the good I want to do, I keep finding myself, I want to do, I can't do, and the evil is present with me. I botched that up, but go over and look at it for yourself. Paul had the problem, and that's what he was teaching. But the old devil will tell you, if you sin, well, you're not even one of his. How could you be one of his? You just did that awful, vile thing. But I want to tell you, brother and sister, God's love is an everlasting love. And he's not ever going to leave you. If he was going to leave anybody, he would have left me a long time ago. But I want to get on here this morning and talk to people about what would you give in exchange for your soul. And I think the soul here would be your mind, the renewing of your mind and knowledge that he's given you while you're in this body, vessel of clay. Now, well, I don't ever have time on these little videos to get into any other thing except that God has chosen you before the foundation of this earth. He's chosen you. You didn't choose him. He chose you. You remember, excuse me, God had from the beginning chose you to salvation, brother and sister. You didn't choose God. He chose you. Isn't that wonderful? And he's showing you all these things that a whole lot of other people can't see. And you can't get too mad with people because they can't see what God is showing you about our rigged reality, and our present evil world is more evil than we can even imagine. You know, Jesus called it the present evil world, and he meant what he was saying. Now I see what he was talking about. Well, the whole thing, brothers and sisters, if I could break it down, is a family thing. I think what I do is start with people talk on the internet a lot, and they're always talking about salvation, and they run the new birth and salvation together. They never talk about it. They very seldom talk about the new birth, and they talk about salvation. But to me, salvation, there are other salvations in the Bible. Save yourself from this untaught generation. So there's a salvation in knowing about Jesus. But the new birth is a family thing. I like to talk about the family thing. You know, you can find something in Scripture, some threatening passage in Scripture, and make a religion about it and find you some followers. But I'm not looking for any followers here, brothers and sisters. I ain't got one thing to gain except a well done from God. That's what I'm looking for. Like I say, all the gold in California, all the gold upon this flat earth, I wouldn't give, and I wouldn't swap places with anybody else. And I don't think you would either. Just think you'd be walking around ignorant of all this stuff that's going on. But he's revealed it to you, brothers and sisters. So anyway, just wanted to put out there that it's probably not the time for everybody. You know, if God had revealed the fake moon landing to me back when I was, my wife and I, we were just thoroughly modern. Back in the 60s, we watched it on television. And we fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Me and my wife, we were thoroughly modern. And so we were in with the in crowd and didn't know a thing. And my grandpa and her daddy sat over there, the old timer. He said, they didn't do that. They saw them landed on the moon. He said, I don't believe that. He was the only one that had it right. We fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. So you see, brothers and sisters, if God had revealed that to me back then, it wasn't my time yet. You know, no telling what I would have done if I'd known this about the, if I'd known that, no telling, you know, how it's just one God's time to reveal it to me. So a lot of these people were talking to the wall, it seems like. They're blind. They are blind. They can't see it, you know. But I believe that there are brothers and sisters out there just the same. I'm just putting it out there. All these people we think are just, because we can't convince them about the flat earth, that doesn't mean they're not God's people. God's mercy goes way beyond that. It is not, his mercy is not, it's not according to anything somebody thinks. It's according to his mercy. Get that, brothers and sisters? It's according to his mercy. Read over there. Not by works of righteousness, not by what you think, not by what you believe, but according to his mercy. He saves his people. He shall save his people from their sins. Whoever his people are, that's the ones that are going to get saved from their sins. Saved eternally. But that all begins with the new birth. With the new birth. And then this faith about Jesus Christ was once delivered to the saints, brothers and sisters. Wait, how did they were saints when the faith got delivered to them? See, brothers and sisters, they were born of God when the faith that was once delivered to them, and I believe it was the faith was sovereign grace from top to finish, top to bottom. That's what I think that faith was. But anyway, running out of time on this video, and I'll listen to it back and see if I want to send it out, and then put any comments you want to put up there. And please put some comments, maybe hit a like, I don't know. And that's what keeps me getting up in the morning. So, and putting them out here, you know, and everybody can see what this old man's thinking about. Not many of them really care, but maybe it'll help somebody. Peace and love from this old boy out here in Alabama.